a very heterogeneous group, largely secular, which has eschewed violence and has decried al-Qaeda as a perversion of Islam.
But politicians in the media are intentionally ignoring Michele Bachmann's case as a whole. They're focusing on a process question about whether one woman went through the proper background check. It is what the left always does when they set out to destroy someone. The other claims in this letter, like, for example, that the Muslim Brotherhood is attempting to infiltrate our U.S. government, is supported by quotes from the Muslim Brotherhood itself. The Brotherhood is engaged, quote, in a civilization jihadist process, end quote, with its clearly stated aims of, quote, eliminating and destroying the Western civilization from within, end quote. In fact, FBI Director Mueller himself said on record, quote, I can say at the outset that elements of the Muslim Brotherhood, both here and overseas, have supported terrorism, end quote. Now, you can read about this in Cowards if you want, but you can find the information in Bachmann's letter. She goes on to talk about the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC. This is a supposed mainstream Muslim international organization who claims, she claims, is trying to impose Sharia worldwide. That's a ridiculous, crazy, madman idea. I agree, and so does Michele Bachmann. She's not the originator of the idea. Where did she get it? From the OIC's own Declaration of Human Rights in Islam, which specifically says, quote, all the rights and freedoms stipulated in this declaration are subject to Islamic Sharia, and that, still quoting, the Islamic Sharia is the only source of reference for the explanation or clarification of any of the articles in this declaration, end quote. She was accused of saying that the Islamic Society of North America, or ISNA, is the largest Muslim Brotherhood front in the U.S. Well, they don't identify themselves as the largest Muslim umbrella organization in the U.S. Oh, no, they do. And federal prosecutors identify that group as members of the Muslim Brotherhood. So if you take their own words and combine them with a federal court, you have exactly what Michelle Obama said. Let me quote them first. The largest Muslim umbrella organization in the U.S. Adding to it, the federal prosecutors and court, their statement, which include members of the Muslim Brotherhood. If you disagree with Michele Bachmann, if you disagree with me, then you disagree with a federal court. That's your right. But you don't blackball and blame Bachmann for saying it. There are 16 pages, all footnoted, of this stuff. 15 get completely ignored by the media because they don't want to talk about the real issue here. Why? Because the Muslim Brotherhood, through CARE and organizations like CARE, have infiltrated our media. Believe me, I know. At all levels, all networks, all organizations that I have seen. Warning, America. They are now, instead of talking about the facts, talking about the real issues, they instead vilify Michele Bachmann because of one small part of her case, a question about a woman with a lot of friends who wields a lot of power in Washington, who has ties, possibly, through her mother and her father to the Muslim Brotherhood. Say what you want about Michele Bachmann. She may not be perfect. She never claims to be. But know this. Michele Bachmann is absolutely fearless. And if they take Michele Bachmann out, they will take anyone out. This is both in the Republican and the Democratic parties. She is saying what she believes. She is saying at great peril to her life and her job in Washington. She is saying the things that have to be said because she is standing in the way she believes is protecting and defending the Constitution of the United States of America. When people said, I think it's crazy, these people who say read the bill. Who has time to read the bill? When people said, well, you're just going to have to find out what's in it. You'll have to pass it to find out what's in it. No one was seriously in Washington talking about throwing those bums out. But when Michele Bachmann writes a letter fully annotated and fully noted that has footnotes and links to all of the sources and all of the claims that she makes, these are not crazy. Hey, we don't want to send the Marines over to Guam because if we send too many, it will flip the island over. All of her charges are based on the Muslim Brotherhood's own words. She is fearless, and she is saying what she believes because she believes it's right for the country. And so do I. Without any hesitation, without any reservation, I warn you, if you do not take the Muslim Brotherhood seriously and help people like Michele Bachmann stand in this battle, they will pick them off one at a time. There are very few people in Washington, more than you know, more than you would expect, less than you would hope. But there are those standing in Washington that are true to the Constitution, true to the founding principles, true to themselves. Michele Bachmann is one of them. She deserves and needs your support today. They are threatening from the Republicans, Boehner and McCain, threatening Michele Bachmann that if she does not apologize for this letter today, she will lose her chairship or her position on the Intelligence Committee. She is perfectly willing to have that happen. I am telling you, that is a huge, huge mistake, and it is being orchestrated by those who either have their heads up someplace where their heads don't belong, or they're getting marching orders from the very peaceful, very secular, non-political, just sweet as pumpkin pie Muslim Brotherhood. Warning.